Stay frosty and check out redzonecoins.com for the cheapest, fastest coins on the market. Use code DIRECTOR at checkout for 10% off. Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the Director. Madden 21 fans, it should be a quick one today, but it is a pretty important video in regards to Madden franchise. What has happened in the last couple of weeks is pretty cool. Fixed Madden franchise trending, as you guys know, a couple of weeks ago, in an effort to try and innovate, bring some innovation to the franchise mode for Madden 21. We did see a video shortly after that from one of the game developers, I think one of the producers or directors, talking about these promises to address these concerns from the community. And as a lot of you guys know, franchise really hasn't been touched in the last 10 years. So for anything to get any sort of traction right now is kind of a big deal. So they did put together this cool article of all the stuff that we can expect to see throughout Madden 21 and even Madden 22. And that's what we're going to be going over today. Well, guys, before we get started, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Madden content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this video. All right, so Gridiron notes franchise updates coming to Madden 21. Exciting, exciting. They talked a little bit about the promises that they've made, or, you know, the last time we talked, there was effort to move forward with franchise a little bit. And they talk a bit about the team working really hard on it these past several weeks. They talk about Madden being a live service. So I think what they're saying here is basically be patient. There's work being done, but likely a lot of the things that you're going to see as far as improvements to franchise will be coming through updates during the season, during the regular season, and so forth. So just that, kind of keep that in mind. I think they do mention that again later down here on the article. High-level franchise commitments in Madden 21 and Madden 22. We're sharing with you some of the areas in franchise we'll target both in our live service, Madden 21, and next year for Madden NFL 22. Very interesting to see that things are starting to come in motion. Things are starting to change. So Madden 21 post-launch support. So keep this in mind. When you buy Madden 21 and you're like, fixed Madden franchise was a success, it's probably not going to be in the game the day you bring it home, the day you download it, whatever. All right, so post-launch support. With each update, this list may shift as our plans for Madden 21 and Madden 22 come more into focus. We will share with the community as the list evolves. So the first thing I list here is tuning, improve progression and regression of players. Awesome. Improve core player progression into the future, such as X factors, other abilities for older players work well with incoming rookie classes. Interesting. So paying some attention to the tuning. This is something I feel like they do every year anyway, though. So maybe, you know, this specific stuff that they're listing will make a big difference in the game later on. Commissioner tools, we're going to get to this in a minute. They have a whole bunch of stuff listed there at the bottom. AI personnel management. The AI will make better team management decisions in the draft, free agency, and trades. We'll see. I don't know about you guys, but you know that common thing that people do when like a huge blockbuster trade happens in real life, in the actual NFL. And then somebody the next day goes into Madden and tries to make that same trade. It doesn't happen. Now, some of them I understand, you know, like DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals. That one is a little bit different. You know what I mean? That had some stuff behind the scenes happening. But there are some trades. There's a lot of trades that make sense to both parties that you may never see become approved in Madden 21. So there's a lot of stuff too with the draft, free agency, stuff like that. It's been kind of subpar for very many years. Have to wait and see. Playoff and Super Bowl presentation improve and refresh. Can we get like 10 or a dozen like fire Super Bowl commercials to pump through the game? I don't know. That's stupid. X Factor superstar ability customization. Introduce the ability to customize X Factor and abilities on all players, allowing you to customize your roster as you see fit. Thank the Lord. Okay, so I've been playing a lot of franchise the last couple of days. All right, there's not much to do in Madden Ultimate Team. And I have this, you know, loyalty to franchise that I owe to myself since I was a wee 12-year-old boy, 13-year-old boy that, you know, I like franchise. Started playing franchise in Madden a long time ago. And the biggest thing that I hated, that I couldn't do right now, was just change the X Factor, change the abilities on the players that I have. You have to go through this, like, weird dice roll kind of system where you change, let's say the quarterback. I had Josh Allen. I did like a fresh draft, a fantasy draft, Josh Allen was my quarterback. I got him all the way up to 92 overall, I think, 93. And he had some of the worst abilities you could put on him. And I wanted, you know, the things that I would actually use as far as abilities on Josh Allen. And in trying to change those abilities, I had to change them from a quarterback to a punter, and then back from a punter to a quarterback over and over and over until I got something I liked. Still didn't get anything I liked. The combination was terrible. So to be able to finally do that is going to be awesome. Just go into the menu, you know, go into the abilities, click on something that you would never use. Let's say like Pocket, you know, Presence Elite or something like that. Pocket Lead Elite, which doesn't work very well this year. That's what I have on Josh Allen. He's always overthrowing stuff. You know what I mean? Take that and change it to something that you would use. Like, I don't know, what is he, a strong arm quarterback? So maybe something like, what's the one with the a hot route master? Something like that. I don't know. I don't think you can get that at 94 overall. But still, you know, change it to something that you would actually want in your quarterback rather than stuff that you don't want. And now you can do it, you know, very easily, which is great. Career stats and UI. Improved UI showing historical player performances, more immersion and depth on how players have progressed in your franchise. So are they talking like, you know, stat history and stuff? You know, like let's say if I went to DeAndre Hopkins, you know what I mean? He's a Cardinal right now. He's going to play his, you know, first CFM season of Madden 21 as a Cardinal. If I go back and look at him, am I going to be able to see the stats that he put up in 2020, in 2019, 2018 with the Houston Texans? If I go back and look at a player, let's say like Julio Jones. No, let's do somebody that actually won the Super Bowl, like Julian Edelman. Take a look at Julian Edelman. Will I be able to see how many Super Bowls that he's won? Stuff like that. The player accomplishments from his past. Give us, you know, a full, you know, history report on these players so that, you know, it just builds, again, that storytelling element to these players, this narrative. Hopefully that's what they're talking about. Trade logic, more fidelity, depth, and authenticity. Again, we'll see. That's probably one of the biggest things I think is going to be the trick here in the new update. Retirement UI, better insight into retirements each season to allow players to react and manage. Okay, well, retirement has always been just kind of, you know, you kind of expect it to happen at some point. So, I mean, that's cool. Playoffs update, an authentic playoff bracket screen to see who's in, who's won, and who's up next. Okay, cool. You know, that's kind of the thing I want to see too, is presentation on what's happening outside my little bubble. Because right now in Madden franchise, it feels like everything that I do, only I know about and nobody else. You know what I mean? Like, I live in this world where only the Chargers exist in Madden franchise. They can do something presentation-wise in the menus. Maybe, like we saw it back in the day with NFL 2K, they had these post-game shows. You know, you got to see stuff that happened in games that you weren't even playing. You know, expand this world that we're in. You know what I mean? Make it seem bigger than this little bubble we've created for our own individual teams. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but you never know. Commissioner tools and priority rankings. They talked about this up there. A large bucket of items with a lot of opportunities and a lot of work. We'll see this as something we'll continue to work on to give you more control over franchise in the years ahead. All right, they're talking about this for Madden 21 and Madden 22. Commissioner tools priority ranking. Ability to undo transactions, reducing friction and control over player movement contracts and trades. Okay. All right. That is a little bit more flexible. That's cool. That's cool. Ability to approve trades. Also cool. Awesome. All right. Maybe something, you know, is going wonky out there and you can veto it. Interesting. Ability to reset a game in case of a disconnect. Also cool. You know, part of me hopes that there's some of these features become locked, because sometimes I can't help myself. You know, I'm sitting there in franchise mode. I've played a couple of years and I'm like, you know what, if I just want to try a couple of games with this and that, I'm going to upgrade this guy a little bit. Maybe, you know, maybe for sake of guys like me, just lock it. Maybe give us some sort of feature where we can lock it, where it's just like, you're in, dude. Like, this is it. You got to be intelligent. You know, no skipping through the lines. You know, none of this editor mode BS. You know what I mean? If everything was like working perfectly, then we wouldn't need those editor features, but there you go. And they're giving us more flexibility here, so maybe you can help us set it up and then we can lock it. Madden 22. For Madden 22, it's still very early. We are at the very beginning of the planning and production of next year's product. As said, we've been actively discussing some of the areas we'd like to focus on stemming from your feedback and player engagement. Okay, here are a few of the areas, while not fully committed yet, we are exploring creatively. Coaching and staff management. Please. Let us hire specific coaches, quarterback coaches, running back coaches, O-line coaches. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you can do as far as immersion with this thing that they're talking about right here. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with that. So hopefully that's not just like, you know, they make a small adjustment and then they can justify telling us this. Scouting improvements. Please give us more than just like, what, there's 3 attributes that they give you ratings for in the scouting right now, and then that's it. You don't know where the player comes from, really. You don't know the player's journey. You don't know the player's progression. You don't really know anything about these players that you're scouting out of college. This would be huge. Again, please go all the way with this one. Don't just do a couple of things and say, well, we improved scouting. No, I put some real depth into it. I think that would be awesome. I think scouting is one of those biggest things that I really personally have been wanting to see improve. New scenario engine enhancements. Also, please, scenario engine. You know, scenario by the director. All right. In walks Yannick Ngakoue into your team. You're playing as the Jaguars. Let's say in 2020. And he comes in and he says, "Coach, I'm not playing unless we secure a new contract right now. I am holding out." What do you do in that scenario? That is something I think you could definitely do with scenario engine enhancements. That'd be awesome. New team chemistry system. Cool. I think that has lacked a lot of depth. I think Madden Ultimate Team certainly surpassed franchise when it comes to team chemistries. If we can put something in the game similar to what Ultimate Team has, you know, then I think franchise will feel a little bit more authentic. There's some players that just jive really well together. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, you know, Deshaun Watson and the used to be DeAndre Hopkins. You know, there's chemistries out there that work really well. Even guys on defense, Derwin James and Casey Hayward. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be something you guys can do there. Commissioner tools improvements, more content. Example, relocation, branding assets for franchise, new uniforms, names, and logos to relocation options for more variety and depth and deeper careers. How long have we been waiting for new logos, new uniforms, maybe new stadiums, locations? Madden 20. I'm really hoping that they put new faces in as well. You guys know there's been like 12 of the same face for the last 6, 7, 8 years when it comes to building, you know, players and stuff like that. Maybe take the assets that you created for QB1 in Madden 20 and put that into franchise mode. You know, where you can go in and you can create a face custom, you know, for completely from the ground up, you know, the skin tone, the face type, the head type, you know, you could change the eyes and everything about him. I think that would be awesome. How many assets that would, you know, require from the console? I don't know. But we're into the Xbox Series X and the PS5. It should be possible. Should be possible. Your involvement as a community. So this is where we're at. There is a lot of work to be done here, and these things take time. The target time frame for our next communication update is just before NFL season kickoff in early September, where we hope to share more, specifically the roadmap for projected improvements for future title updates. The last thing to cover is how the community can stay involved, and they talk about, you know, all the feedback, the ways to give feedback into continuing to improve Madden franchise. So that's about it, guys. So in short, I think in September, around the time of kickoff, is when we're going to see the first update with a lot of these new improvements. Now, my question for you guys in the comment section below, is this going to be enough? Do you think the specific things that they listed, you know, that's coming up here, tuning, management, superstar ability customization, a lot of these things, you know, are things that maybe they could just unlock, or there's simple coding. But some of the bigger things that they're promising, maybe going into Madden 20, late Madden 21, early Madden 22, scenario engine, you know, commissioner tools, coaching and staff improvements, scouting improvements. Do you think that is going to live up to our expectations? This is a big thing. It's something that people have been waiting for a long time. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Hashtag Fix Madden Franchise is a moving. It's a grooving. Don't let it lose steam. Every time you post anything about franchise mode, make sure to include hashtag Fix Madden Franchise. And this is for the betterment of everybody. The player gets something that we've been asking for, begging for very many years, and the developer gets a better product. Therefore, more money. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. We'll see you next time. And as always, like and sub if you like this video, and stay frosty.